Well, hello everyone. I'm glad to be your guest this afternoon. I'm especially glad you invited your ladies. First came the invitation from your program chairman, Mr. Barkley, over the telephone. Then the other day, a letter showed up in my mailbox from Mr. Barkley. I guess perhaps the date was off. Instead, he wrote to tell me there would be ladies present and warned me to make my language conform to the occasion. In other words, I'm to tell no stories or divulge any secrets that y'all wouldn't want your ladies to hear. Apparently, my reputation has preceded me. This letter incident reminded me of a couple other letters that I received not long ago. In Seattle, there's a newspaper called the Argus. Along toward the end of the last legislative session, I received a letter from them. "You are a very important person," said the letter. I could not argue with that. "We are sure you have sponsored and worked for very important bills." Couldn't dispute that either. "Won't you," urged the writer, "give us the number and subject matter of your most important bills, and also tell us in what legislation you are most interested." I pondered and started to prepare my world-shaking list. Then came the second letter. "We wrote you in error," said the editor of the Argus. "We somehow confused you with the U.S. Congressman. It was their opinion we wanted. So will you please excuse the letter and ignore our request?" Well, I am truly glad that you did not cancel me out today. Now, let's get right to it. I'm here to talk about the PUD and schools, most particularly the efforts of the Chelan County PUD to gain ownership of the Chelan Dam and the effect that that might have on Chelan schools. Now, we battled hard to pass the bill that created the PUDs, and I, for one, will not stand by and see that work undone. There's been talk of doing just that, mostly from Republicans who oppose public power from the beginning. As you well know, I'm a Republican and proud of it. Always have been and always will be. But they've got it all wrong this time. They're all fired up because the PUD is moving to condemn the Chelan Dam, and the law allows them to do just that. The PUD has made offers to buy the dam, good and fair offers, but Washington Water Power has refused them all, leaving the PUD no other choice. The company argues that they pay taxes that support the Chelan schools, and those dollars will be lost if the PUD takes over the dam. All this talk has the fine people of Chelan concerned. Some are saying that I'm against the schools because I support the PUD. Today, I would like to set that record straight. Now, I don't like to blow my own horn, but this situation calls for a little honking. I've been working for schools and children since I started teaching in Waterville 30 years ago. And through those 30 years, I have served as Douglas County Superintendent of Schools, President of the Washington Education Association, and Dean of Girls at Wenatchee High School. My PhD in education thesis at the University of Washington was on equalizing school funding across the state. It was the basis of a new state school funding bill that mostly benefited small schools like Chelan. I serve on the University of Washington Board of Regents and on the legislature's Education Committee. But I am most proud to have been a teacher in Waterville, Wenatchee, and Chelan. I believe that money alone won't save the world, but school teachers can. And I believe that our youth are our one eternal, priceless, and inexhaustible asset. I'm committed to the schools and students and teachers of Chelan. I have lived here, taught Sunday school, and played the organ at the Methodist Church. So I have a promise for you. I will use all of my persuasive powers to convince the PUD that it is in their interest to continue paying an equal sum in lieu of taxes equal to what their tax burden would be if they were a private company, to support Chelan schools. The schools will not lose $1. Work has already begun on this. I have persuaded 5 other Republican legislators from non-PUD counties to join me on this. And I promise you, the PUD could not be tougher to convince than those worthy gentlemen. With their support, we can block any efforts to weaken the PUDs. Well, I want to thank you again for your kind invitation to speak to you today. It is my privilege to represent you fine people of Chelan and Olympia, and again, I promise you, I won't let you down. Thank you.